Notre Dame has an extensive history of producing elite-level offensive line prospects. Quentin Nelson, Zach Martin, Mike McGlinchey, and Ronnie Stanley have all been elite-level players in the trenches for the Irish over the last decade and have gone on to have good NFL careers. In the 2024 NFL Draft, they have one of the best offensive tackle prospects in the entire draft, and that is left tackle Joe a guy who has been outstanding for the Irish over the past few seasons. But how high does he ultimately get selected? That is something that we will be going over in today's video. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, I have a bunch of these prospect spotlight videos coming out over the next few days. So if you do enjoy the content, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and ringing that notification bell so you guys can see when they go live. But without further ado, let's take a closer look at Joe Alt burst onto the scene in 2021 as a true freshman and was absolutely fantastic. In 2022 though is where he really broke out, and he was fantastic. He had 406 pass block snaps and only allowed 6 hurries, 2 hits, and no sacks on the season. Had he been draft eligible last season, I think it would have been no question he would have been the first tackle off the draft board, but unfortunately he had another year of eligibility. In 2023, Alt has had another productive season. In 368 pass block snaps, he has only allowed 2 hurries, 2 hits, and 1 sack on the season, and he remains one of the top players in the entire draft. Alt has really great size and length for the tackle position. He is 6'8", 322 pounds, and he possesses the ideal frame for the left tackle position in the NFL. He has long arms and plays at an excellent pad height as well, generating a lot of his power from his lower body. He's extremely strong and has great quickness for his size as well. One of my favorite things about Joe Alt is his hand placement. He does an excellent job at getting his hands on the outside shoulders of the defender, and he is able to hold his block for the entire rep. He doesn't stop and he keeps fighting until that final whistle is blown, and he has control from the snap. I think he has some of the best hand placement of any tackle in this entire draft. As a pass blocker, there is a lot to love about Alt. He has quick feet and the ideal hand placement as we mentioned. He is a powerful blocker, and he fights until the final whistle. He has great quickness off the line of scrimmage, and he immediately gets his hands up to make a play, which I absolutely love to see. He is light on his feet, and he controls the defender until the rep is done, mirroring all of his moves. As a run blocker, Alt is just as good and may even be better than he is as a pass blocker. He hits hard in the run game and does an amazing job at opening up run lanes. He has really great quickness for someone who is 322 pounds, and we see it on full display when he is asked to make blocks in the second level. Whether on a screen play or a run play, Alt moves exceptionally well, and he can land some powerful blocks and even pancake the defenders from time to time, which you absolutely love to see from him. There isn't a lot to not love about Alt. He is very technically sound, but like all prospects, he does have a couple of weaknesses. Alt does have the tendency to struggle against speedy pass rushers. While he has good recovery speed and quickness, it did seem that certain players were able to gain a step on his outside shoulder, especially the faster rushers. So that is an area I would like to see improve with him and improve his speed against speed rushers. Another area that I think could be better with him is that his feet have the tendency to stop moving around halfway through the rep. Usually in an offensive tackle, you would like to see their feet consistently move throughout the entire rep, and there are instances where I feel Alt gets too reliant on his athleticism and his strength, and his feet stop moving altogether, which is an area of his that I definitely would like to see get better, especially against power rushers. Despite these very minor areas of his game, I think Joe Alt is a fantastic player. You can make a legit case for him to be the number 1 tackle in the 2024 draft. I wouldn't argue with you, and there is a legit case to be made, but I personally have him as my number 2 tackle on my big board. I think the upside of Olu Fashanu is higher, and the games are very similar in a lot of areas. It's a 1A, 1B situation, but I only have one spot separating them on my big board, and Joe Alt is my number 6 player in the 2024 draft. Alt is extremely scheme versatile. We mentioned how good of a pass blocker he is, but I actually think a scheme that does run the football a lot may be best for him. His ability to move up the field in the run game and clear holes is going to be a huge thing for a lot of teams. I think his run blocking is slightly better than his pass blocking. I think a run-heavy scheme where they are reliant on the run game and an RPO scheme where he can kind of get to that second level, land blocks, I think that's the best situation for Joe Alt. My player comparison for Joe Alt is Raiders left tackle Kolton Miller. They both have virtually identical size measurements and are both extremely athletic for the tackle position. Kolton Miller has flown under the radar these last few years in Vegas, but year in and year out, he has consistently been one of the top left tackles in all of football. He's an excellent pass blocker and is good in the run game as well, and I think Alt can have the same impact, so that's my comparison for him. Joe Alt is an amazing tackle prospect. He is great in the run game, he is great in the pass game, and he has a ton of tools that teams are absolutely going to love. With that being said, I truly believe Joe Alt will be a top 10 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.